Welcome to Cool Breeze Podcast, where we keep it cool. I'm your host. What it do? So welcome to Cool Breeze Podcast, where we keep it cool. I'm your host, What It Do, and today we are back with another very special guest. We have Javon. He is a business marketing major from Durham, North Carolina, a graduating senior who is serving as the VP of the Ice Cold chapter of Beta Iota chapter, and he is the treasurer for the Political Action Committee.
Come on now.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man.
That's good.
Appreciate the intro.
You're welcome. It was long. It's going to get longer.
It was great. It is. That's the goal.
Okay.
That's the goal.
So you ready to keep it cool?
Definitely.
Okay. So my first question, before we get into that, cheers.
Nah, for shit. So come on, let's put one.
Okay. So my first question I always like to ask, how is your mental health?
My mental health? Mm-hmm. My mental health good. What you want, a 1 to 10?
Yeah.
1 to 10. Mental health, 1 to 10. I'd say I'm at like a progress in 8. Like I'm an 8 and it's moving towards a 9.
Okay, what's that missing too?
I'd say like it's really like I be in my own way. I be in my own head. Like I got good things going for me and I'm aware of that. But sometimes I still be kind of feeling like I could be doing more.
Gotcha.
And that kind of causes that like gap in between.
You know, that's our generation really, because we always feel like we can be doing so much more, and I feel like that's what the old heads always be telling us too, because we be our own enemy, and it's like there's no reason to do any of that.
Right.
So as these people probably don't know, you are a mental health advocate.
Definitely.
So what made you want to be a mental health advocate? Because it's your mental health matters and it's very important.
Definitely. Biggest thing for me is like my own trials and tribulations, like my own trauma. Like as I went through it and still going through it, like I know the way I feel when I go through something, and I've been at rock bottom. And I've been at them places, and I know how it feels when you feel like the whole world against you. You feel like you can't turn to nobody. And I done also made it through them situations as well. So them alone, like, it just makes me very passionate about wanting to just inspire others and just pour into other people. Like, since a kid, I felt like I always knew how to read a room and read people. So it's like I've always been the type of guy that, like, whenever somebody needed, I want to motivate them. I want to inspire them. I want to help you. Like, you can get through it. Like, you can. I know you can. Like, I just been real passionate about that. And as I keep going through things, like, it only gives me more things to talk about. So once I get on the topic, like, that passion takes over and I just get to talking for real.
That's good. So being a mental health advocate, what has been, like, one of the hardest challenges or a struggle that you have faced?
Like personally,
it could be personally, it could be, you know, with helping somebody else, or if somebody, you know, had something that connected to you, or if somebody who you know hit home or was, you know, wasn't doing how you thought they were.
Okay. That's a good question.
Thank you.
Great question. Personally, I can start off with personally. Like, one of the major things, like, I lost my father in 2018. That was after sophomore year, just going into junior year. And it was tough, like, that whole situation tough. I wasn't myself for a while. And, like, spiraling out and just going completely down. But luckily, like, I was in this mentor program at Hillside. And my advisor, Lee, shout out to you if you're watching this, like, father figure in my life ever since then. He done pulled me in, got my head on straight, and like he really allowed me to just go through what I was going through, but at the same time not let me get too far out there to where like
you crash out.
Exactly, and I make a decision that I might regret. So shout out to him for definitely keeping my head on straight. But like that alone, like that major loss, like that was my first real time at like a rock bottom, or like just this depressed state. And it wasn't fun. And the scariest part about it was I didn't know that I was depressed. Like looking back on it, but like while I was going through, like I didn't know. Like that was the scariest part. Like if Leak wasn't there, like my life could have been completely different than what it is today. And just having that feeling in me, knowing that like I was that close to making a decision that could have like changed the trajectory of my life, like it gave me that drive to just want to succeed, and I just want everybody else to succeed because we all can. Like it's enough room for everybody at the top.
So I just lost my father in December. So you've had a few years to grieve and, you know, really process everything. What would you say has been, how can I word this?
Don't worry about wording it.
What would you say has really been the way that you have continued to push through and like, no, because my dad used to always say, you know, I've lived life without you. You've never lived life without me. So it's like, how was the adjustment? Because I know for me it's challenging now, but for you, how was it at a younger age?
It was hard, like being completely honest, like it's hard, and like while going through it, I guess one of the things that I'm better with now is kind of just embracing it, like you just got to go through it, like, and it's not going to be consistent. You're not going to be able to predict how you grieve. Like you're going to go through things and you might be fine, you might feel like you're fine, and it might be that one day or that one moment out of the day and in a couple of months where it just hits you again, and it's just like, damn. But you just gotta really, that mindset of just embracing it. Like as I kept going through it, one thing my pops always told me and instilled in me as a child was like, you and McCallum, like
that's the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like you and McCallum, like you. That's what we do. Like we not no average. So just that alone, like keeping that spark in me, like allowing him to just live through me, or like knowing, like when I go out here and I do things, like just remembering that one phrase, like I'm a McCallum, like everything that he done put into me, I feel like it was preparing me for that moment. And that's something else. Shout out to Leak. He helped me realize this a while back. Like he always taught me a lot of things. Like that was his main thing, like just pouring into his son, teaching me lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson. And I feel like it got to a point where like I was receptive to a lot of it, and I was learning a lot of these lessons. And even though some of them I didn't understand at the time, as I got older, I started to understand what he was telling me. And just knowing that like he did all of those things because that was like his duty as a father, to just prepare his son for the real world. And I guess like God, that was his plan for him, like prepare your son and then allow him to just blossom, like allow him to carry on the legacy. So ever since I done had that mindset too, it's been helping me go through things, like knowing that, because I strongly feel like my father did a great job as a father. Like,
most definitely.
I feel confident in who I am. I feel confident in my ability to go out into this world and make whatever I want to make happen. And I feel confident about protecting my loved ones. So I feel like those three combined, he did his job. Like, shout out to that nigga for sure.
Facts though. Shout out to all of that. So what is one generational curse that you're trying to break?
One generational curse?
A generational tradition that you're trying to create.
Okay. A generational curse that I'm trying to break.
It could be a traditional one, or it could be so non-traditional to the fact of I'm not cutting my son hair till he like 6.
Okay.
It could be anything.
I say like bringing that community feeling back within the family and just within the environment around me. Like to put it like in perspective, like when you ride around now, you don't see kids playing basketball on the street. You don't see kids outside throwing the football. I don't see that community feeling. Yeah, COVID happened, so I know that can play a major part into it. But even before then, like with how the gun violence was rising up and how the situation was with the police in the black community, like we was just starting to lose that. But I really want to bring it back. Like I don't really like that, like my neighbors or the people I stay around, when we see each other, it's like just this awkward eye contact, or it's like a quick what's up. Like I miss the days where like younger, when I was going outside in the neighborhood, going across the street, playing with the neighbors' kids, like it was nothing, like didn't think twice about it. And I want that, because I also don't want my children to be like so wrapped up in technology that they don't have their own personality. Like
because I want outside kids,
right?
Because my kids, they gon' know about the little green box in the neighborhood.
That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta have that. The street light cut on. It's time to come in. It's time to come in.
Because like kids, because I'll see like 2 or 3 kids, and I'm like, there's more kids in this community than I see, and it's like everybody wants their baby to be a tablet kid, and it's like, no, let your child be a child
for them. That's not. It's hindering their development, and then people wonder why, like, it's so many, like, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with this by all means, because even I have my own moments where I'm like this too. We all do. But the, like, having them tablet kids and iPad kids and being okay as a parent with your child not getting out into the real world, you're doing a disservice to them, because they're going to grow up and they're going to heavily experience those social anxieties or those introvert lifestyles. Like, we got to promote more, like, getting out there, like, just go outside. Them two words alone can help solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, because kids don't get dirty like they used to.
They don't.
It's like there's no scraped knees, no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like everybody that I know my age got them 2 scars on both of their knees that they just felt. Don't know when it happened, don't know where it came from, but it happened. Like,
and the real ones either got a chipped tooth or either something on their arms.
It's something like it's an arm. Like, I was feeding the cows and I got like a little, man. Like,
everybody got a story for their scars, and these kids don't get to experience it at all.
It's sad.
And it's like they, like, at the table, they're so, like, non-associated with what's going on, and they're so consumed into the tablet, and it's like they're not even in the real world. They don't know the proper instincts. Like, you could probably give a kid a tablet and he might come with you, and it's like, that's sad to say, but it's a lot that needs to change.
It is,
especially with gentle parenting too.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I'm sorry, but the only reason is this a kid-friendly podcast, or this is for, like, we cooling?
Yeah, we cooling.
Authenticity?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest. The only way I learned my lessons is because I got my ass whooped. Like, the only reason I am who I am today is because I seen that belt, that switch,
and it put fear.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sorry, but all that, I'm not being man.
Timeout don't work. Standing your child will go laugh in the corner.
Like, you can't, and that yelling at them, that's not doing nothing either, bro. Like, it was either I got hit in my chest or I got my game took or something.
Yeah, it's like they got the phones, and it's like now these kids, oh my God, they about to kill everybody if they get their phone took.
Yeah,
I seen this one post. This 14-year-old girl killed her mother because she took her phone.
She killed her mother?
Killed her mother, put the body in the front yard, and then her and her sister dragged the body behind the car because the car was in the front yard so that nobody could see it. You lost your mother and you still don't know where your phone is at.
But just that thought, like, for her to even be comfortable with just doing that, like,
it's crazy to me.
Condolences to that family and sending peace and positivity to everybody involved in that situation. But with that being said, it's like, you gotta instill some fear in these children. Like, why they not gonna think? Like, I didn't think twice about trying to harm. I'd be damned if I thought about trying to harm my pops. Like,
that was a you want to do what?
I'm talking about it was over with. Like, they shut all that down quick. But, like, that's what you need, because it teaches you that, like, obedience. Like, teaches you, like, okay, like, in certain situations, like, you need to just sit there and listen.
Yeah, like order is needed for kids at an early age, because most people, like our generation now, they think, oh, that's cute, and they're laughing at the little boy hitting everybody. But if you don't fix that now, when he's 16, turn into like a serial killer. That's going to be a serial killer or a man who beats women.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That shit is not cool
at all. And it needs to be, like, it's not cute now. Like, once, twice, okay, yeah, that's cute. But 3 times, you need to nip that in the butt early. Because these kids now were fighting their teachers for taking...
Like, I'm talking about what? Fighting a teacher?
We would never...
I would never raise my hand at no fucking time. I'm sorry. Like, if that motherfucker swing at me, then yeah, I'm going, like... You feel me? But other than that, like, I'm not in class. Like, the most I did growing up, like, I was just a talker. Like, I had ADHD, so once I got done with my work, it wasn't shit else for me to do but bother people. So I got in trouble for just talking too goddamn much. But I would never goddamn hit no teacher.
And then for our generation too, it was like a privilege for us to even bring our phones to school.
That too.
It had to be in our book bag. It was only in between classes or at lunch.
Right, like,
you seen it got took. It was no question about it, and it was just simple that on that. Because I feel like we followed rules.
Yeah, because we got our ass whooped. Like,
exactly. Because nobody wanted that phone call home.
That's what I'm saying. That was the scariest thing in the world going up. So as they threatened you with that, it was alright.
Okay, let me sit on up. And you remember back in elementary school when we used to have the little colors, man, it was like,
I'm gonna keep it G. It was to a point, like, elementary school, I think from like second grade, it was one of them, like, it was to a point in the school, like, I had started out the day on red and I had to work my way up to green. Like,
you was bad.
Yeah, because I told, like, I don't think the school I was at like understood what I had going on, so they just thought I was just bad. It's just like, no, I'm like in the most humblest way possible. Like, I'm just more advanced than the majority of kids, and so when I finish my work,
you need something else.
That's what I'm saying. Like, give me another assignment, but they didn't understand that, and they thought I was just bad. So that's what led to that. But in reality, I'm like, I'm bringing home A's every progress report, every report card. I just got a star beside it that say he talked too much.
Yeah, I seen a study about that because it was like kids in like the 3rd or 2nd grade, they'll diagnose them with like ADHD or ADD, but it's like when they actually do a test, they're on like a 4th or 5th grade level.
Exactly. They asked me if I wanted to move up a grade. My parents said no because they wanted my development. Like, they wanted me to be around kids my age type. When I was in 2nd grade, they asked me if I wanted to take a test and get moved up to 3rd, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, you would have enjoyed a year of college if you would have.
Yeah, for real. Damn, maybe I should have.
It's like, looking back, yeah. So what are some ways that you're trying to create generational wealth?
Definitely real estate. Like, and what's crazy is this morning, like, I was on social media and I had seen Central, like, I seen that they the first HBCU to have like a real estate program under their Masters of Business Administration.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
Like, I just seen it started in 2021. So
that's nice.
That was one way, like, definitely just getting into that. And as I get more knowledge on it, like, it's a great industry to go in because everybody think like the main thing you can do is just buy houses, flip houses, but it's so much more. Like, even down to just the floors. Like, if you can get in contact with a landlord, you can do all the work for them and not have to do no work at all. Just send papers back and forth between people and sign contracts.
Just hire contractors.
I just want to get more knowledgeable on that. And then outside of that, like, credit cards, that's another thing. The company I'm working for, like, I'm getting way more knowledge on just how credit works and credit and how you can maximize and use your points and shit. And it's like, it seems easy, but of course it seems easy because I'm actually not doing it yet. But building that credit, getting someone else's money, taking a risk, a planned logical risk, that's like the formula to success. But of course, I'm not speaking from experience, so don't listen to me. I'm not rich yet.
So with credit, like, you mentioned on ways to build credit. Do you have some ways that you could spill on ways for people to build their credit?
Definitely. First thing first is don't get one if you don't have a consistent income. That's one. Like, don't think that like, oh, I'm gonna get a refund check in the spring, so I'm gonna make these purchases and then I'm gonna just pay it off when I get that. Don't think like that, because then some shit might happen and you might can't like. So just one, have a consistent income, and then like those regular purchases that you would always do on your debit card, literally just do it on the credit card. And then like you can even have it to where, like, to put an example, like if you budget out your money, right, and you say, I'm gonna spend $60 on gas this week and I'm gonna spend $100 on grocery, that's $160 that you're gonna spend on your debit card in 1 week. Get a credit card, use the purchases for that credit card, take that $160 when you get paid, label it in an envelope, gas and groceries, keep the $160 right there, wait like a week before the statement date or a couple days before the statement date, and then put the money onto the credit card that you have saved right there. It's gonna take discipline, that's all it's gonna take. But if you want to build your credit, you're gonna have discipline. That's one way though.
Key. What's another way? Give us one more.
I say kind of the same thing, but for like those big purchases as well. Like, if you know you got like some birthdays or holidays or something coming up where you know you're gonna make a purchase, do the same thing. Like, especially if you've been saving up for it, you already been saving up the money to buy somebody something, so you know you got the discipline to leave it alone. Just use the credit card and then keep that money sitting right there and then just put it back on there. So like, whatever you think you can afford to do, like, do that, and then just keep that discipline in mind. But it's really not hard to build up credit. Just don't try to do too much at one time. Like,
don't.
Take baby steps. If you want to just do $10 a week on gas and start off like that you can do that. Like, don't think you got to get a credit card and spend hundreds of dollars to show them that you can use money. No, you can do that with $5.
You can, because they really want you to only have like a 3% usage rate on your credit cards, because if you max out your card or use a lot, your credit score is going to drop quick. the quicker you use the money, the quicker your score is going to drop. So what would you say, like, for the age 20 to 22 is like a good credit range for us to be in? Because I know all of us want like them 830s.
Right, yeah, nah.
It ain't happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Be realistic. Honestly, like, realistically speaking, at 20 to 22, you just starting off your careers. If you can stay in between, like, don't go no lower than like 680 to like try to be in 680 to 720 around there relatively. Like, I would say that's a healthy way, because you don't want to be too low in the 600s to where like you got to build yourself out of something before you even start something. But then again, like, don't feel pressured to be at no amazing credit score fresh out of college. Like, that's unrealistic.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. And ways to boost your credit too. I don't know if you know this, but download Experian. And because those of you who rent, if our rent does not go on our credit, unfortunately, which is dumb, get Experian Boost. You link your debit card account up, and it'll backtrack the last 3 months, so your rent will eventually go on your credit. Because when I did it, my credit score boosted, I want to say like 13 points. I was like, I like that. I was like, I can't wait till my other stuff get added and stuff like that. So, okay, we're going to switch over to the student portion of you. So, we're going to start off with, why did you choose the illustrious, the wonderful, the magnificent Winston-Salem State University?
WSSU.
Go Rams.
For real. Why did I choose Winston? It was I'm gonna be completely honest, a very easy, like, just experience as far as the whole college decision. Like, I knew I wanted to go to a HBCU, and my top 3 was Winston, Howard, and A&T. But I knew I wasn't going to A&T because of like how they vibe was, that culture. Like,
they ain't got no family atmosphere.
That one I like. I can't. I don't even got enough clothes to put on the outfit every day.
I ain't lying.
So it's like I can't go to that. I'm not going to that school. No. And then Howard, they private. It's like 50 bands a semester. I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that either. So Winston, I stepped on camp, felt like home. It was like the hillside. Most people I knew was going to Winston, so I already knew people there. They were saying good things about it. And once I applied, like, I got accepted quick, but I didn't, like, I applied regularly, but I got accepted before the, like, early admissions people. I don't know, that shit was weird. Like, I got accepted quick. Like, my whole senior year, I knew I was going to Winston.
Tight.
But then senior year got shut down because of COVID, so I couldn't really enjoy the shit.
Yeah, you're right about that. So far, what has been your favorite Winston memory? And it could be personally, it could be just the school, it could be anything.
My favorite Winston memory? I got a couple.
You give me a top 3.
Top 3?
Yeah,
okay.
Top 3.
Top 3 out of order. I'll say one, definitely, like, what was it? No, it was that Fayetteville State basketball game. What was it, our sophomore year?
Which one?
It was when they had came to us, and they had like that one section of the crowd when he had hit the game winner. When he hit the game winner,
man,
crazy.
We all flooded that
game. It was crazy. Like, they all had their whole set. We going back and forth, just looking at each other, just like, bro, that CE Gay is undefeated, bro.
Undefeated.
CE Gay is
only thing I needed some AC, and it'll be great.
Real, though, that's the only thing.
That's the only thing. Okay, give me the next one.
Let me see. Another one, I say. I say probate for sure. Okay. That gotta be in the top 3. Probate was a vibe, like
top 3.
That was just a smooth day. And then 3, I'm trying to think. Honestly, like,
that's a lot.
Ramdition freshman year, like, even though it was COVID and we didn't really get the real one, like, me and my guy, like, we made the most of it.
Yeah, we would just our biggest thing, we all just wanted to be like outside.
Yeah, that's all it was. Like, and I think that's what made it so great was that we had nothing, but we made something. I think that's what made it so, like, I'm talking about, like, we walk into the bridge 20 deep, just smoking. Like, it's just, that was just the vibes. Like, we all get outside and we just, like, it was.
Have a time.
That's what I'm saying. It felt like them kid days where you just go outside.
Literally. And it was so ghetto. It was so
like,
ghetto.
Completely just.
And then it was like the street lights on and we still outside.
I'm talking about thugging, like 12
3 o'clock in the morning.
2 a.m. We on the bridge.
Doing nothing.
I'm talking about nothing. Like, just sitting outside. Niggas on top of the bus stop. We out there with speakers. Like, we in the street cooling.
Having the time of our lives.
I'm saying, like. I think that's my top 3 though.
Top 3, your top 3. Yeah. Okay, so being a Winston man, what has being a Winston man taught you?
Being a Winston man, like being a man at Winston-Salem State University. It done taught me that it done taught me that like chivalry isn't common.
Yeah, at all.
It like it's not common. Like I will say that like it is a lot of it on Winston-Salem campus. Like I see more of it than I don't see, but it's like I don't know, it's not common. And both on like the male side and the woman's side as well, like some of them not being appreciative, but it's like it's nothing that holds weight or anything like that, but just seeing how people respond to it, it's always interesting,
because it only takes 2 seconds to say thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna do it regardless, because that's just how I am. Like I don't care if you say it or not, but it would be nice if just a little thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so what has being an alpha man taught you?
Being an alpha man, time management, bro. Like being a man that's really focused on succeeding and wanting to be something, like you gotta know how to manage your time, like when it comes to like, and boundaries as well, like managing your time and also having like them non-negotiables, like work, and then like I'm in a relationship, that's a priority. So you got your work, you got your relationship, then you building towards your future. That involves like the side hustle ideas, everything in that realm. Yeah. And like just knowing how to also have a good time, social life. So really balancing all that. Like it may sound like it's just life, but it's just like nah, like on a day-to-day basis, that shit is a lot, trying to jug that shit.
Time management is key. I still ain't got it down pat yet.
Me neither. I'm still working on it too. 1% every day. 1%. That's all we doing.
Hey, if you do 1% every day, that's 365 a year.
Come on, man. Hey. Slow progress.
Okay. Because the turtle won the race. Real, that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Okay, so what made you want to be an ice cold brother of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated?
I say I got 2 answers to it. The first answer is that mentorship program I was in high school. It was called Theta Phi Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and essentially it wasn't no real D9 or no Greek organization, but it was like this high school organization where we emulated the alphas essentially. Like a lot of our moves in history and information, like essentially we was like mini alphas. Like the alphas at Central, they would come back, they would kick it with us, talk to us, mentor us. Nice. It was a great program, and that really played a major part into it, because when I first, like freshman year of high school was my first time ever seeing anything related to Greek, anything. Like they had it at Hillside and they had probates and stuff, and I'm seeing dudes coming in motorcycles and they deaf marching and they coming in with the mask, and I'm like, what is this? I look cool, they stepping. So I look into it and I'm like, I want to do it, and then I just like, I really love it. Like I really love Greek, and as I'm doing the Theta stuff, like I'm looking at the real D9 Greeks out there, and I'm like, okay, like I was looking at it, I'm like alpha's cool. And the other answer to it is like kind of just who I am as a person. I felt like it just resonated. The organization resonated with me the best. Like the stuff that I believe in, the values that I have, how I want to carry myself, like everything just aligns with Alpha. And I feel like me ending up at Winston, and then like all of the guys that I was around that was in them leadership positions were Alphas. Like shout out to James, Trey. Like they was Royal Court, man, legacy leaders. I was around like Noah and all them other guys, so it was real smooth, kind of just being around that good energy, and that just putting those two together. Hey, you get Spring 23.
Okay, so what has been your favorite Alpha memory so far? Because you have a lifetime to go.
For real though. Favorite Alpha memory. Shout out to my guys, man. Shout out to my guys. I say really just like being with them, like for that time frame we was with each other, like it was nothing but good vibes, and I really made some great connections. So it's hard for me to pick just one because it's a lot. So I say like just
give me top three. I know it might be hard to get top 3.
Practicing for probate, like just all of those experiences together was just like dang, like because you know it kind of hit different for me because it's like I've been waiting on like kind of a big moment ever since COVID happened. We didn't get no graduation, no big graduation. We didn't get no good rendition. So it was like probating in front of the whole school. I'm like, okay, this is kind of my first big moment in a while. Like I'm actually getting excited for this. I say everything leading up to it, like kind of just going to those interest meetings or kind of initially making those connections in that beginning phase process of it. That was fun, looking back at those pictures, like when I'm in my suit or I'm making sure my tie good, going to the meeting and stuff. That was cool. And then CGP this past, not like well they was at yesterday, but it was another one that we performed in, and that was cool. Me and some of my LBs and some of the other guys, we was out there having a good time strolling. So anytime we get together. Another one, number 4, Darren, his birthday was the other day, July 4th. We went to the bar and then got a couple drinks, bowling, then went downtown Charlotte to fireworks. That was smooth.
That's nice.
Shout out to the guys, man.
So what would you say to anybody who's looking at this video and is interested in wanting to be a part of the organization or joining the organization?
Okay. I definitely say do your research. If you have questions, try to answer them yourself before you go ask somebody, because 9 times out of 10 you can't answer it yourself. Just do your research. And then 2, like, be you. Like, when you actually having those in-person experiences or you having anything, like, I know it can be intimidating. I was intimidated a little bit, but it's just like, don't let it be. Like, just be you and just try to stick to you, because if you just remain who you are and stay as authentic as possible, you're going to naturally get aligned with everything that's meant for you in this life. So keep that mindset, do your research, and just let life happen. You know what I'm saying? If it happens, it's going to happen. And if it don't, it won't meant to. You call for something different, maybe something greater.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. It's good advice. So with us being HBCU students and being in the Black community in 2023 in America, one do you think it's important for Black kids to go to HBCUs?
Yes.
Why?
I think it's important for Black kids to go to HBCUs because of, like we said earlier, just that family feeling, that community feeling, and just seeing other people that look like you, seeing a lot of other people that look like you actually chase something and work towards their ambitions. Like, it's those everyday experiences that you don't think about when applying to college, but when you come to Winston and you walk outside and you make eye contact with somebody, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get a head nod or you're gonna get a what's up, or if you speak, 9 times out of 10 y'all can have a conversation. And or just like when you walking in the caf, you holding the door for people, or just how we are on Instagram, like class of 24 at Winston, like via IG, you would have thought we was all connected and knew each other before we even came to college. Like, everybody that stayed in Cove on 2nd floor, all them guys, like, we all close, still cool. Like, so going to a HBCU, them connections that you gonna make and the type of people that are in them connections, I feel like it's just gonna be greater for your development and going into the real world, because we're gonna go around and we're gonna be around a lot of Caucasian people no matter how we put it. So I feel like while you still have the opportunity to be in control of that decision of who you're around, go to a HBCU.
The best thing. So what's one thing or anything that you would change about our HBCU?
That's a good question.
I was like, because everybody has a different answer.
Yeah. This is interesting. Like, after just serving a SGA position too, this is an interesting question.
Yeah, because you got the real inside scoop on Winston.
But I would say, like, kind of just the attitudes of the people that are working in, like, just our positions when it comes to just faculty and staff. Not saying that they're bad. Like, we have great staff, great faculty, and they do a lot for us, and they put you in positions to succeed. You just have to be a little adamant about succeeding, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should just want to be like that already. But essentially, like, you know, giving them a better attitude when it comes to just, like, if you go in the financial aid office and you have an issue, or if you go somewhere, it's like, it's always some type of hiccup, or it's always some type of something. And it's just like, I understand everything can't be smooth and people have bad days, but you chose that job, bro. Like, don't show up mad. Bro.
Yeah.
Like, what's up? Like, what we doing?
Go home. Like, just leave.
Like, bro, you chose. Nobody forced you to work there.
Nobody is forcing you to stay here either. Because it's like in the positions, it's like, yeah, I get that it's America, the real world, and all of this, right. But you could at least act like you care.
That's what I'm saying. Like, my advisor that I got coming into college freshman year, like, you know, you get like this advisor that help you register for your classes and do all of that. I've been doing my own, like, the advisor that I got switched to my junior year once I got into my major, he's been great. Shout out to Dr. Matthew, that's my guy. But the advisor I had before him, like, I was doing everything on my own, going on my RAM path, seeing what I needed to take, getting the CRNs, like, I was doing all that dolo. And that's something that, like, I just shouldn't have had to do, especially not freshman year. Like, she didn't tell me that FYE was only two credits, so I won't even classify it as a sophomore if I wouldn't have took summer classes. Like, at the end of freshman year, if you would have took like just your regular 5 and 5, and you know FYE was fall and spring semester, you would only have 28 credits, and you got to be 30 to be a sophomore. So I took 2 summer classes to like be ahead, but like I found that out after just looking at it myself, and I'm like, I should still say freshman.
Like yeah, tight. Cause I had a friend. He didn't. Classes started. He got his alternative pen the second day of classes.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And then professors don't be trying to work with you when you come into class late. You come in and they already got zeros in. It's like, bro, I just got.
It was a 10-minute walk. It's raining. The stoplights. There was a car, and if you go to Winston, might have been a high-speed chase on the road.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's like it really ain't no telling.
It's really not, because I feel like most people in the office, they're old school. They're very old school.
Definitely.
And old school, they're more so like, well, I don't care. It is what it is. Just get it done. Right. This is how it is. There's no changing. And it's like, our generation is more so like, okay, life does happen. And you have to understand that. Because if you don't, then you're just going to stress yourself out. Because our generation, if we got your flat tire on the way to work, if we can't get it fixed in like an hour, we're going back home to get it fixed. That's what I'm
saying. Like, nobody is. I think what we do a great job of is just putting ourselves first. Like, I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't lost count of how many jobs I had. It's at minimum at least 12. But like, I'm talking about easy. I was just working at a car wash this past summer.
Ooh.
Like, no, this summer, matter of fact, I was working at the Wave car wash. I was working at the Wave car wash, right? The semester was over. My internship was starting up in June. I think it was still in like that May,
so you had a few
April.
weeks.
So I had like a few weeks, and I was kind of like, I needed a little something just to keep me going until the internship started up. And I got a job at the car wash. But while I was there, like, it was cool at first because it was easy, like easiest job I ever had. All I'm doing is dipping the brush and wiping the window and putting it back.
No, that's simple.
I'm cooling, like I'm not tripping at all. That's what I'm saying. I'm not tripping at all. But then after a couple days, I was just thinking. I was there. I'm like, I'm spending like 5-6 hours of my day or something like that just doing this. And like, yes, while I do need some money to stay afloat right now to keep me going, like, I really don't have to be doing this. Like, I know I had this internship starting up, and where the conflict was coming from was, like, after freshman year being at college, I went back home that summer. I was working at FedEx 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then I would wake up at like 8 o'clock in the morning to do Instacart from then until like it was time to go to work, because I was in Oxford having to go to Durham.
Killing yourself.
I was doing that all summer, and I had got my cars tinted. I had got my like my priorities all fucked up, by the way. Like, I'm doing all this hustling and getting a whole bunch of shit that I want it, but it's really not doing nothing for me. I'm tinting my car. I'm getting goddamn tattoos. I'm getting clothes.
It's a temporary like feeling.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm kind of just doing that, but it showed me that while I can go out here and I know how to get a bag and I can go out here and do that, like, peace is essential, bro. Like, and as I was doing that, like, I quit that car wash. Like, I just left for one of my shifts. I went on lunch and I just left, and I didn't come back. I did the same shit at Walmart. Left on lunch.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
I hate Walmart.
Fuck Walmart.
Man, nobody in their life should work at Walmart. Walmart does not pay you enough to go through everything that you go through at Walmart. Bro. Like, no, if you're not working overnight at Walmart, your job is terrible.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I fucked up my New Balances at Walmart. I was in produce and meat, but they got them. I had went over to eggs and milk for like just the rest of that shift. Dropped the carton of milk on my New Balances. Fuck them shits. I'm like,
I hurt my back at Walmart, because I was in OGP, so it was like the people that I was working with, I was new, so it was like, okay, and order outside. They're looking at me. Okay, it's multiples. Okay, you can grab that, and
Right.
just because I'm new, I'm not finna do everybody's job.
Exactly.
So man, I mean, cause I was the type of person. I sometimes lift with my back, not my legs. That's my own dumb soft fault.
I used to be like that too at FedEx,
Yeah.
but I learned my goddamn lesson from that.
And I remember it was like 4:00 in the morning one night. I woke up back spasms like crazy. I was about to go to the ER. I called my daddy. I was crying. I was like, what in the world? I was like, nope. That's it.
Bro.
That's it. Because once it affects our body to a point to where it's like, I feel like to the point where we feel like we got to go to the hospital, or it's like it affects us that bad. Because waking up out the sleep is crazy.
Yeah, no, that's wild.
I'm going to quit.
No, for sure.
Because on top of that too, it's like all of these people be having these negative energies and attitudes at a job that they hate, but they won't quit.
Cause everybody's stuck in that, like, and that's that old school mindset. Everybody's stuck in that, like, our generation does a great job at taking the next opportunity and leaving. Like, all that staying at the company for 40 years, that I don't plan on working for nobody after like 5 years. So I'm gonna keep it G.
Yeah.
I'm starting my career off, and after that, I'm gone.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's like the older generation, they always think that, if they quit their job, they're not going to have no money. They're going to get kicked out of their house. None of their bills are going to get paid. But our generation, there's 1,000,001 ways that you can go out here and make a couple dollars.
Like, bro, there's so many.
There's so many. And it's all it is you just need the time. But everybody gives their time to a job that they hate.
A job that will replace them like that.
Like that. Because at the end of the day, like I always say, the way that you care about your job does not care about you.
Not at all.
Because you can be in a car accident today and no longer be able in that position. Your position will be posted by the end of that day or next week.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
And it's not going to be nothing, because my mom, she worked for the state 10 years, And after 10 years, you get like whatever. Right. They gave her an umbrella.
After 10 years?
After 10 years, an umbrella. One of them big ones.
You're talking about one of them things you can go get from like Dollar Tree, right?
Yeah, like
an umbrella, like they gave her like
like an umbrella, and it was a nice umbrella, and it had the little state thing on it.
Right, but it was an
umbrella.
Okay.
I said, what you gonna do with an umbrella? A raise.
They're trying to make sure she can get to work.
Yeah, just making sure she don't get wet.
Make sure she don't get wet walking from the car to the job.
And it's like the decency, because it's like she was like, they gave me a 10 years.
That's crazy.
That's what I said. I was like, your job does not care about you.
Not at all.
At all. And it's like she gave like so much like dedication, time, energy, and people like to say that their job doesn't affect their mental, but it does. It does.
If you're not doing something that you love, your life is gonna be miserable. I was at a senior leadership panel for my internship, and one of the guys speaking, great story, and I really was hearing what he said. He said that people think that when it comes to this work-life balance or doing this stuff, that it's always going to be 50-50 or you're going to find this perfect balance. You never are. You never are. Something's going to have to suffer for you to do good in something else. And that's a decision that you just got to embrace that and know that some days work is going to be more prominent. Some days personal life is going to be more prominent. But you just got to have them non-negotiables. For me, my thing is when I go in office, I'm in Charlotte. I got to go back to Winston. That's like an hour and 40 minute, hour and 30, hour and 40 minute car ride. So it's getting to the point now where it's I don't mind staying after work, because I get to my schedule hours are 9 to 5. I like getting to the office at 8 o'clock. That's just the type of nigga I am. I like getting in their office. I don't need
give yourself breathing room.
That's what I'm saying. I like to chill in the morning. I like to, before everybody get there, just have my own peaceful environment. And then traffic be bad in Charlotte, so leaving right at 5 is never an option. I did it once, won't never do it again. So it's 6 is my cutoff time. I'm out of there by 6. It's either 6 or 4:30. The other day I left at 4:30 and got home by 6. I was good. I fuck with that. So I might start doing that. Get to the office at 8 and then leave at 4.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. That's a good little schedule. So with us in 2023, our generation, what is one thing that you strongly dislike or just can't stand about our generation, the way society is, or really just the difference between, because our generation is just
right.
Yeah. Okay, but first, what do you consider yourself as? Because I consider 98 to 02 its own little generation of the remainder of the good kids.
Right.
So you consider yourself in that little like popular, or would you consider yourself the what do they call it? Gen Z, Gen X? Tide Pod eaters.
Yeah, definitely not them. I'm like that 98 to 02. Like I got an old soul, so I really consider myself like
a 90s. I'm
an
like 90s baby.
I'm saying like I was delayed. Like I was supposed to have been born back then, but it was a waiting room. That's what I'm saying.
It was supposed to be 92, but
I was delayed. But I got an old soul, so definitely that 98 to 02.
Yeah.
Like I'm in that mix.
Yeah.
One thing I hate about like just our generation and society and some of the things is like social media, man.
Talk about it.
Social media. Man.
Talk about
I could talk about this for hours, man.
Who you telling?
Like I could talk about this for hours. But social media, like the number one thing that social media completely negated the mindset of comparison is the thief of joy. Like our generation does not understand that phrase at all.
At all. Like you were enough.
Like social media is enabling too many people to compare themselves and their situation and their progress to someone else, and then they start to feel bad about it. And then that induces like all of these other negative emotions. That's like all of those negative emotions, they're all in the same vibration. And the cause of all of those negative emotions is social media, which means social media causes this vibration, and this is our entire generation in this one vibration. I'm trying to get up here. I'm trying to get up out of there, and it's like it's hard when like
the world is social media.
You know what I'm saying? It's more common than not that you go out into the world and you run into one of your peers or you run into somebody in your age group and they have that social media mindset. That's why it's like I don't really care to like I rock with people, I vibe with people, don't get me wrong, but 9 times out of 10 if you see me, I'm alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? But nah, social media and what it their mindset, or even like the validation aspect of things, like people wanting some type of recognition or wanting some type of approval for it could just be like an outfit, or it could be like an accomplishment or something like. And some people, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with, if that's your way to live, if that's how you choose to live, if you happy with that, then by all means, like your life is completely different than mine. But just me personally speaking, I'm more of like I like being private. Like as far as the real things that are going on in my life, I don't like too many energies attached to it, because not everybody got good energy. Because
the ones that are actually in your life, in your present, know exactly what's going on. They're congratulating you, and they're doing everything for you that the outside world is either going to hate on, talk about, or just not fully understand. And it's like I don't it's because I say my 5 people, my parents and my grandparents, those are my 5. If you're not them, I don't care at all. Your opinion doesn't matter, none of that. Because if you're not putting food on my table, clothes on my back, a roof over my head, or making sure my mental is a-okay, what are you doing for me?
Exactly.
What are you doing for me?
And people think that mindset right there is selfish, but it's just like, it is, but at the same time you have to be that way. Like, people are so caught up, and it's just like, I feel like everybody who learns this lesson and overcomes it, we then get around each other, and it's a bit more respect amongst each other, because we know that like, okay, like we operate in the same way mentally. But a lot of people are still in that like people pleasing mindset, or living life for other people, or the decisions you make, looking back on them, like if you really haven't, like if you can't relate to what I'm saying right now, then 9 times out of 10 the decisions that you make, if you look back on them, are for other people. You're not really doing what you want to do because you think it's selfish. You think that, oh, that's just not how I should be. Like, why wouldn't I want to be like this for them? We're just like, bro, you have to be selfish. You have to be, because everybody else is living their life for them, but they coming to you and then they doing this because they know that you're gonna come through for them. And it's just like, it's okay to not come through for people at times. In emergencies, yes, always. I'm not saying negate people, and if your phone ringing and they need help, ignore them. Don't do that. But it's like, if somebody texts you and you plan on chilling your whole Sunday, and somebody texts you saying, look, I'm trying to go get some, like, let's go vibe, let's go get some drinks, let's go do something, let's go hop out the house, and you not doing nothing, and you are free to do it, that doesn't mean you're obligated to go.
Exactly. And
stay in the house. No, I'm cooling today. But a lot of people will go out, oh, I ain't doing nothing today, come on. And then you out there wishing you was at home, so you're not really enjoying the experience as much as you can. But it's just like, if you would have just said, no, I'm good, like I'm chilling in the house today, and although it may seem small to some people, a lot of people, it's hard for them to make that decision. You'd be surprised.
And then that could also turn out too, because some people, they use that one day as a reset, and it's like, okay, now they didn't get it properly reset,
So
and
now the rest of the week is chaotic. Like, you not rested well properly. You just, like, everything. That one decision, that's what I'm saying, bro. Become selfish. Be selfish. If we had more selfish people in the world, it'd be a better place.
And it's not like being selfish just the way you just don't do nothing for other people. You put you, your life, your mental, your choices, you put you first in all aspects. And then you worry about everybody else. And once you do that, your life will be so much easier, because when you're in a great state of mind, everybody around you, it's going to rub off on everybody else.
It's them frequencies, bro. It's that vibration that you on. Like, when you taking care of yourself and you feeding a whole bunch of positivity into your mind and your body and your soul and spirit, that's all that you have to get out. So you start to radiate this positive energy, and then it attracts positive energy, because as we know, energies attract each other. So you attract positive energy, and then once you get around a whole bunch of that, y'all just continue to elevate.
Yeah, because if you give out hate, you're going to receive hate back. If you give out love, you're going to receive love back.
It's really simple, bro. It's karma, like karma. It's everything boils down to that. What you put into the universe is what you get.
You're going to get right back 10 times. And I feel like our generation too also doesn't understand energy, because energy is very important. And like, you know, the people who actually like take in their mental health seriously, or either went on a mental health cleanse, understand that energy is key, and if they feel off, they're going to leave the environment.
Like, and I'm not gonna feel bad about it. I'm not gonna let you know. I'm not gonna apologize at all.
Because at the end of the day, when we die, it's just gonna be me in that casket. And that's that. So why should I take account your emotions if I'm not feeling right?
Exactly.
Now you're being selfish because you want me to please you, and I'm not happy.
Exactly.
How do you expect me to make you happy if I'm not happy?
You can't work on you,
and then I'm
work on me,
and then we
gonna come back together, and we gonna be good.
And then it's gonna be that. And
it's that simple.
A lot of people don't
like
get
they don't get it, and that's something that I wish like our generation understood more. Is like, bro, you gotta sit down and feel all of those emotions. Everything you went through as a child that you think like now that you're not a child that is just over with. Like, no, it still happened, bro. Like, it's still up there in your mind, and even though you've been pushing it back and you've been like, no, I'm strong, I'm good, like I done been through it, I'm like, you gonna have to sit down for maybe weeks, maybe months, and kind of just feel everything and allow yourself to process it and understand why it made you the way you were. Because once you understand why what you went through is the reason how you are, then you can begin to unlearn those things and then build better habits, build better traditions for your family, just be a better person. But a lot of people don't want to do that inner work. A lot of people don't want to sit down with a pencil and paper and write down, who am I, what am I passionate about? Like, although these are basic questions, a lot of people really can't answer them. If you was to try to sit down and have a conversation, like, what are you really passionate about?
And nobody can. They'll be like, and then they'll just name basics,
and they'll name a bunch of stuff that they see trending on social media.
And like, that's not you. That's social media.
That's what I'm saying. That's not you. Like,
so take away your Instagram name. Who's the real?
Exactly. Like, you don't want to be a rapper. You love music and you love organizing things. So you want to be a producer. You want to manage artists. Like, you don't want to be a rapper, but because you wake up and the first thing you do is go on Instagram and you see that somebody dropped a new single, oh, that's the first thing I'm seeing when I start my day. So I want to be a rapper. Like, it's subconsciously, you don't understand the small habits that you're doing is feeding into the perspective that you have on life.
Yeah. And then also too, people they don't really get to, because what you were saying, they don't get to actually know their childhood traumas. Because it's like, yeah, you might forget about it, but once you dig deep, it's like, oh, I forgot about this. And it's like, once you understand yourself,
that's what I'm saying.
It's so much easier, because it's a challenge. Because I remember when I went through the whole summer, it was the hardest thing I had to do was sit there and say, what is wrong with me?
Like, it's tough. It's scary.
It's
honestly
scary.
It's scary.
But it brings you to a point to where once you're out of that, can't nobody tell you
I'm
nothing.
talking about, like, that's what people call that villain era, or like just putting yourself first. What we was just talking about, that comes after you do that. Like, for me, like you said, it was the summer. For you, like me personally, it was sophomore year, fall semester. I was just bad. Like, we had went home after that fall break, and from the day we went home to when we came back, I was on my grandma couch, my nana couch, the entire time. I didn't get a job. I didn't work. I woke up. I was barely eating. They had to force me to eat. They had to force me to shower. Like, I'm being as open as possible right now. Like, I was down bad. But doing that is the reason why I am how I am now. Like, I'm adamant about my success. I'm adamant about future. I'm adamant about my loved ones because I know that, like, okay, I understand why I am the way I am. Like, I grew up in a household where I didn't really feel seen. Like, I felt like a shadow. So maybe that's the reason why when I get in these positions or when I do certain things, like, I want to go above and beyond. Or maybe that's why I'm passionate about succeeding because I felt like nobody really rewarded me for my success as an elementary schooler. Like, so just tying the connection between a lot of things, like, it helps you understand yourself more. And as you understand yourself more, you become more confident. That's why any room I walk in now, chest out, chin up, I know who I am as a person, and I'm not going to allow nobody to change that.
And then I feel like also too, when you actually realize your family traumas on stuff that your family is not aware that they're doing, and once you understand that, you're able to walk away from a situation to where what they're doing won't affect you, but you can still love them, but from a distance. But you can also, vocalize it. And if they're not accepting to it, okay, I vocalized how I feel. Now what you do with that information is exactly how you feel. I have my piece, and I said everything that I want to say. Now I'm gonna just see how you do, but I'm gonna still love you. You still whoever you are, but it's just gonna be from a distance. And it, like, because people's families be affecting them like crazy, and they don't want to talk about it.
Everybody is so tied up in that. Like, just because it's your family
don't mean
like
nothing.
Family can be weird. Like, literally. Family, like,
blood cannot make you any closer to anybody.
I got people that I met in college that is solid. Like, I met you freshman year, and it's just like this friendship relationship has been a lot more solid than a lot of them hillside or middle school or all them, like. It's not. It's that family don't mean nothing. Right? If somebody weird and they affecting your mental health, somebody is weird and they're affecting your mental health.
And that's that.
Do something about it.
And it's that's your. I don't care.
I don't care who you are.
I don't care.
I promise.
I don't care.
I don't care.
And like I feel like the black generation too. They like to bring up what people have done for you. Okay, yeah, I was 5 years old. When's the last time you seen me? Do you even know what college I go to? Can you pronounce my name?
Diapers. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I can give you the money back for every diaper you ever changed.
Yeah, like what? How many birthdays were you at?
None.
What's my major? When's the last time you called me and checked on me? Nothing. When's the last time you fixed me a plate or even asked me how my day was? Nothing. So it's like, because you such and such, I'm just supposed to sit here and deal with you and respect you. And another thing with the black generation too, they think our generation is real disrespectful. We not tolerating.
That's all it is. Like these parents, and getting older, like now that I can look at my parents and stuff as people instead of parents, I understand that it's just their own trauma and they just never went through the process of working through it. So when they had children, essentially now I realize that everybody out here just doing the best that they can, which I can't be mad at. But at the same time, don't be mad when people tolerate. Like, just because you grew up and you wasn't retaliating or you wasn't fighting back, like, you can't expect to yell at your children or do this, that, the third, or talk to them a certain type of way, and then they just gonna be okay with it. Like, no.
Like, everybody has feelings too, and it's like, I seen this post, and it was like, if your child don't want to go to somebody's house, it's not like looking at it as a disrespect type thing. Your child does not want to go, and it's like people, they look at a child as like, their opinions, their mindsets don't matter. And it's just like the child just get the repercussions, because they was like, instead of moving, do you ask your kids if they want to move schools? Because people just think, oh, they're a kid, they'll make new friends, but there's more to it.
That shit causes so much switching from school to school. Like, I personally, like, I wasn't at a house longer than like 2 or 3 years growing up.
Same.
Like, it was moving. Like, I moved schools so many times, bro, especially elementary. Like, them early years, that shit, like, I'm surprised that, like, I think that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm able to, like, just go out, or I can be an extrovert, is because just moving, you have to, like, you forced to go into them new environments and then just get cool with people. And 9 times out of 10, the environments that I put in, like, I just got cool with people, and people just gravitated towards me. So but no, it's not everybody is like that either. Like, there's those that you can switch schools, and they scared of that, making friends and that, and then you just introvert, you just building, and it's getting worse every single time. And
then that anxiety, it just builds and builds over time.
Anxiety is real, bro.
It is, and it's not speaked about. So, okay, being an advocate, a mental health advocate in the black community, what has been like one of the things that you've had to get people to really fight understand, or what's one thing that you really had to advocate for? Because I know in the black community, mental health is really not looked at, and it's like more so an excuse. And they're like, if you got a roof over your head, clothes on your back, you're fine. Right. But it's like, because there's anxiety, depression, it's a lot more to mental health that is talked about. So like within the black community, what's one of the strongest things that you've had to advocate for?
Kind of just understanding and embracing that you just got to go through it. Like, I feel like in the black community, we have this mindset of like, yeah, we going through something, but we like, it's still life, and life still happens, and we got to go on, and we just got to keep moving, and we still working towards things. And although you right, yeah, you can, it's like, you got to go through what you feeling. So in those moments where you chilling, or you get back home and you kick your feet up and stuff like that, like, if watching TV and doing all of that can be like a way of just kind of getting through it. But kind of really sit down and give attention to what happened, or just really go through it. Like, don't dismiss those feelings, don't negate them. Or when you get around people who genuinely care for you, like, talk about it. Like, that's really the main thing. Like, really just open up. Like, I know it can be hard, and even I sometimes like kind of just deal with things on my own, and I'm still working on it. I'm not perfect. But it's like, really talk to people, bro. Like, in the black community, like, we look at therapy as this, I don't need therapy. Like, I talk to myself, I talk to my friends or something. But it's just like, it could be journaling, it can be recording yourself talking, it can be writing, it could be therapy, it could be talking to a friend, whatever. It could be drawing. I done just picked up coloring books lately and been drawing, but it's just like, whatever. Just getting it out. That's what I'm saying. Like, have some type of outlet, but it's just really understanding it. Like, bro, you have to go through it. Like, there's no such thing as, oh, I went through it, I'm gonna just let it pass and I'm gonna be alright. Like, no, it's gonna continue to get worse. Like, if you keep suppressing stuff and you keep bottling things in, like, you're gonna explode, bro. Like,
and it's not gonna be good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna hurt the people that you love. Like,
because it's like, when people explode, it's always at the wrong time or like wrong person.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't hold that shit in, bro. Like,
at all.
Don't do it.
At all. So before we end this, since as a mental health advocate, for those who are out there, battling their mental health, thinking about suicide, or really just feeling alone, what would be some words or things that you would say to them to let them know that it does get better eventually, and to keep fighting?
Okay. A couple of things. One is, name a time where it didn't work out.
That's my favorite one right there.
Name a time where it didn't work out. And then two is like, one of my favorite things to tell people is, after every single thunderstorm is a sunny day. After every thunderstorm is a sunny day. Like, if it's tough right now, like, it's tough, and when you go through things in life, it's only to prepare you for that next level. So if you feel like you keep going through things, if you feel like you can't get a break, if you feel like it's always something, it's because you were called for something great in this life. So you just got to change your perspective. Like, really understand that the glass isn't half empty, it's half full. Yes, I'm going through something. Yes, things are hard right now, but I know for sure that it's a big blessing around the corner. It's not going to last forever. I promise you it's not. Steve Harvey once said, if you're going through hell, why would you stop in hell?
Thank you. Oh, I love that quote by him. Steve Harvey be spitting.
That's what I'm like, why would you stop in hell? Keep going. Just keep going. And don't stop anticipating getting better. It's like, stay in the moment. Control what you can control. Don't constantly worry about, oh, I'm bad, or oh, I'm sad, or oh, I need to be like this. I can't go out with my friends because when I go out, I get this feeling in my body that makes me tense up, or I feel like that I can't even speak, or when people reach out to me, I get so anxious because I don't know what to say back. I can barely hold a conversation. I done been there. Like, I've all of these feelings, like, we all feel them, and it's just like, you got to understand that it's okay to feel like that. Like, it's okay to feel like that. If you get in those anxiety when you out in public and all that, like, it's okay. It's gonna be uncomfortable, but those uncomfortable times is what makes you great. Like, that's diamonds are formed under pressure. Diamonds is what everybody wants. Like, as far as materialism, everybody wants diamonds. They made under pressure. You got to go through something to be great. So just take it day by day, moment by moment, bro. Like, it's gonna get better. Slow down.
The turtle won the race.
Slow down.
Just another thing I want to add is, stop letting things that you can't control you.
That's the one, right?
And that means your emotions, the way you feel. If you can't control it, So what? Because Steve Harvey, he said what he was like, all the days that you went through all of your bad days, your success rate is 100%.
Damn.
Your success rate is 100% on all of your bad days. So like these bad days that you're going through now, your success rate is 100%.
And it's gonna be more in the future.
It's gonna be more. Like life only gets harder.
That's what I'm saying. Like life only gets harder, but life only gets better as well.
Exactly. It's the fact of you gonna let life drag you by your hair, or is you gonna get up and Mike Tyson?
That's what I'm saying. Like all it takes is that one time. Like just think about it like this too. All it takes is that one mindset shift. And then you gonna have a completely different life. Like instead of thinking, why is this happening to me, and having that victim mindset, take on that this is happening because I'm great. Like I know I'm gonna be something in life, and I know I'm gonna have to go through things to get there. Bring it on. Like whatever God got in store for me, whatever challenges, I want Him to like throw them at me as hard as you can.
Yes.
Because I know I'm gonna walk straight through it. I know that you gave me the strength, and I know that you allow me to go through these things so that I can go through that next level. So it's like with that faith, bro, I'm not scared of nothing.
Because faith is the size of a mustard seed, and like the Bible say, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me.
Hallelujah.
Because one thing about it, two things for sure, God, He don't play.
He don't
play when it comes to His children, and He gonna make sure we good. Yes, it's gonna be hard, but at the end of the day, He's guiding us through it, and it's only a test to get through to what we going through. Right. Because if we would have went through anything that we have went through, we would not be who we are today.
That's what I'm saying, bro. And that'd be like the back and forth between like my feelings on my childhood. It'd be like, damn, I feel like I ain't get enough love or something. Then it'd just be like,
you wouldn't be who you are.
That's why, like, I feel like
it built you, and it's like once you stop asking why and just actually seeing like I'm listening, like just following, your life will be so much better. Because like for us, if we would have sat there and just questioned our father's death for forever, we would not be in a healing place.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would have just been in this constant frenzy in my mind, but it's just like kind of embracing it. Like he taught me all of these lessons, and then he went away. So it's like, all right, cool.
Apply.
Passing the torch. Now let me goddamn. I seen the way my pops carry himself growing up. I'll be damned if I don't walk around confident and all that. Like that's how he walked around. So it's just like I gotta carry that on. Like one day I'm gonna have a son and he gonna grow up and watch me the same way I was watching my pops. Like it's just my turn now. That's all it is. We kings. All of us kings and queens. That's where we come from, man.
Exactly. Kings and queens. Exactly. Well, I would like to thank you for coming on Cool Breeze Podcast, where we keep it cool. You think you kept it cool?
Definitely. I feel like I think I kept it cool.
You think you kept it cool? All right.
A little AC.
Well, we will see y'all next time on Cool Breeze Podcast, where we keep it cool. I'm your host. What it do?
Okay.